first of all start by talking about how did you get here today? What was the journey like? Not about transport, about that journey to getting from the inception to now.
Chris Ingham, basically, Mr. Classic Rock magazine. Basically, he's a fan of the band.
He's been a big supporter of the band.
He's been a big supporter. In fact, Metal Hammer and Classic Rock magazine, they've been big supporters and wanted us to open. So of course we first we went, we can't do that. No, of course we said, absolutely.
Yes.
And opened the Metal Hammer stage today.
So how did that come about? So you were playing on the circuit and they discovered you, or how was that connection made?
We did a tour with Winger, like an old sort of 90s rock band. And through the Classic Rock things, I think Classic Rock sponsored the tour, and we ended up meeting with Chris through Monster energy drink, which really helped us out as well. And it all came together. We ended up in a room talking about, why don't we do something, because we released our EP on Classic Rock magazine.
Yes.
And next thing is like, why don't you play the festival? Right. Yeah, all right, go on then.
So go on then. Yeah, we don't mind. We're free.
No, absolutely. I mean, it was, we wanted to do it. We would have done it last year,
Yeah.
Fantastic. I mean, they've been so good to us. Like I said, so now it's a good sort of step to kick the album off.
Yeah. I was going to talk about the album as well. But is this a festival you see yourselves at? Had I spoken to you sort of 6 months, a year ago, and I said,
absolutely,
High Voltage, you think that's the one?
It's probably the main one, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because the music that we play it's got elements of classic rock and heavily progressive influences, and metal. So to be honest, our stage should have been right in the bloody middle of all of it,
Yeah.
We've got everything. We've got, classic rock kind of anthemic choruses, progressive moments, and we love metal riffs. So
it was great. I mean, I was excited when they said, we were going to play the Metal Hammer stage. We were excited, but at the same time, I think we could have done the main stage as well.
Yeah.
It's that kind of, it's that twist.
Because
Next year.
And let's go for headline.
Why not?
Why not? Headline Metal Hammer. Headline Metal Hammer or open on main stage?
Well, you know what? When you're headlining,
choose?
it beats getting up at 6 a.m. because you got to play it and you got to like.
Did you say open main stage or headline Metal Hammer?
Open main stage or headline Metal Hammer next year? Which one?
Open main stage.
If I had that authority to make that decision.
Mate.
Yeah?
What, first on, second on?
First on, main stage, or headline Metal Hammer?
No, because the ride is bigger as a main stage, man. You get more beer playing on the main stage than
Main stage.
Main stage.
Yeah, main stage.
Okay, well, I'll put a word in. I can't promise anything.
If you don't mind, mate.
Yeah,
Please.
I'll do that. So, how did the set go today?
Fantastic. I mean, like we were saying, the good thing about opening is that you get a line check, so you know what the sound is going to be like.
Yes.
We didn't quite know what sort of crowd we were going to sort of face.
Yeah.
And of course, when we went out there, we had a lovely full crowd. So
smiling faces.
A lot of smiling faces,
surprised,
and we were surprised. We thought it was probably going to be half of that, So, but they were going to get it anyway. They were going to get it anyway. If there was 10 of them, or 1,000 of them, and luckily it was the bigger mass.
What's that feeling like looking out and seeing your name on the t-shirts? In a setting like this, could be any t-shirt out there, any band, and yours are there.
It's the best feeling.
Having
really good supporters, really die-hard fans, people travel from all over the place.
It's when they're singing the words back.
Singing the words back.
Yeah, I'm like, wow, you can actually understand my lyrics? No.
See, Matt doesn't need an auto cue. All he has is like 5 kids down the front being on that.
Yeah, telling me what the lyrics are. What did I say? What did I write? No. Fantastic, yeah. And like you were saying about the fans, I was chatting to someone just round the corner from the stage straight after.
Yeah.
A guy come over from Norway just to see us, basically.
Brilliant.
We were the band. Of course, he wanted to see everyone else, but we were the band that he really wanted to see, which is beautiful.
Yeah.
We don't go out. We don't go out and have a look like, how many people are out there? Because if you go out and do that and you get despondent about what's going to happen, it dulls your set. So we're just like, okay, do you know what? Let's get psyched up. It's going to happen. If there's like 2,000 people or there's 200 people, they're just going to get it.
It's always a surprise, isn't it?
Yeah. And
just gonna get it.
so the set you did today, did you alter it in any way from maybe your shows you might have done indoor small venues?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, Go on, Chris.
Well, a lot of our tracks are like pretty long. We've got a lot of progressive tracks, so you've got like 7-8 minute songs. You do that on this kind of set, so well, there goes a third of the set.
In fact, what happened tonight, this afternoon, sorry, one of the songs that we played, it's got 2 sections to it, and we played both sections, and we were really only meant to play one.
Right.
But luckily, it's cool. So we were all thinking, oh my gosh, we're going to go over time, you know.
Yeah.
But it all sort of worked out.
Perfect. Perfect. So, thinking about the EP, how important was that getting you onto the scene, the kick-starting it? Because
Classic rock EP?
yeah, so you wrote it, and then from there they took it and they put it in the magazine, and was that the real kick-start?
Do you know what's hard about that is that I think there's a certain start to that. I think actually what it does is it lights the pilot light.
Yeah.
You know, that's about it. You know, that's it. It's just like a pilot light, because there's probably still hundreds of those magazines with EPs sitting next to someone's bathroom.
Coasters.
You know, like or like somewhere. We reached a fan very recently in our hometown that came to a hometown show, and he said, "Yeah, I've got your CD on the back of the magazine." I said, "Have you listened to it?" And he went, you know, and actually he hadn't listened to it at all.
Right.
You know.
You remember the name though? That's the important thing.
This is the point I was going to say. It was a very important move in our career, because even if they didn't listen to the CD, they knew who Furyon were. They knew the name of the band. So even if like someone who turned up to High Voltage was like, "Oh yeah, I never listened to that." "Oh but yeah, Furyon, I remember that. They had a CD."
Yeah.
And they probably came along and saw us. You know, so it was a Chris Ingham. Kudos to you, mate. Thanks for the break.
He is the man. He's the man.
And talking about people who know you, Joe Elliott.
Yes, Joe Elliott. And do you know what?
He's been pretty kind.
He's been very kind, and all of us. And I mean, I remember being a very young kid, picking up hysteria in a shop and buying it. And one of my personal major influences, and to hear someone like him saying, "Check this band out," is wonderful.
It was great because in his own little way, it was almost so passé. Like, is there any good new music coming out? Yeah, you know, shit's Furyon band out. They've got the melodies, all that kind of stuff. You know, but for someone like him,
and it's important to note that in that interview, you were the only one he did mention of every band. He said actually, with Nicky Six,
Dan,
Crew.
you know, that's the thing that hit me the most.
Yeah.
That I realised that he'd actually remembered.
Yeah.
You know, he hadn't been given the CD that day.
Yeah.
He'd remembered from, you know.
Yeah. And it wasn't a list of bands. It wasn't there's 10 UK bands, and he went through them. It was that's the one. There's one.
That's the point. We've got. Those
or he doesn't listen to any music, and that was just it was like.
The last one he flicked on a MySpace. There it popped up.
We've got those elements in the music, you know.
Yeah.
Like take all the metal riffs and the progressive stuff aside. There's still songs within all this stuff. You know, that's what we really push to do.
Yeah.
So get some of the people are still going to be able to, you know, they know the lyrics, they can sing along with the tracks. It's not like, what did he say? I don't know, like chicken and pie and chips or something, you know.
You owe me a pint.
And in that way you can cross the genres and other people can pick up on it rather than being too pigeonholed.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And is that, so with this new album, the producer for the new album was worked with Shine Down?
Yeah, Shine Down, Bullet for My Valentine, Fozzy.
Bullet for My Valentine.
Okay. So how did that come about? How did that collaboration? Is it another name dropping situation?
It is a bit of a name dropping situation. Yeah, we did a tour with. You remember Winger?
Yes.
We did a tour with Winger, and funnily enough, the whole thing turned out that Kip Winger knew Rick Beato.
Right.
And Rick Beato is quite a hard man to get in touch with.
He's like a New York Italian kind of character, and he is
very much so.
He's just so into his own thing.
Right.
But he loves British bands. You know?
So once the door's open.
But he go into a studio and all it is like Black Sabbath, Zeppelin, Stones, Beatles, The Who, you know, anything like that. Even like Hendrix. And when Hendrix goes, yeah, but he was like English in a way. So, you know.
Yeah. So that's we can
it's great. It was through that basically. I mean, he basically. I think Chris was chatting to Kip actually and sort of said, "Oh, we're really looking for that sort of Shine Down sound."
Yeah.
Kip was like, "Hey, well, I know this guy. that did this record.
He did Shine Down, yeah.
And then you know, that was it straight away.
In fact, Rick actually took us on Kip's recommendation.
Yeah.
So
fantastic.
And in fact, he turned down another band, didn't he, to do our album?
Actually turned down the Puddle of Mud album.
Many would.
You got to scrap that.
That's okay. Many would. So, to round off, what can we expect in the next couple of months in the UK for any fans out there? What can we look forward to?
Well, what they can look forward to is seeing us again. We've just literally come off of a UK tour. We're going to be going back out there sort of October time, which is that kind of couple of months.
Yep.
There might be a few tasters. There's another video that's, I mean, we've got a video out there at the moment, Disappear Again, which is also on Dirt 3, the Xbox game that's just been released.
And we actually shot a video for another one of our tracks.
Yeah, so that's going to be coming out. That's going to be coming out.
Okay.
So.
But we're writing stuff as well, so I think we'll probably start trying to get a couple of new tracks out into the set. It's difficult because the album's been out for maybe a year as far as the UK is concerned, but it's so new as far as the rest of the world's concerned. We want to give it a chance, but we still want to keep the hardcore fans pleased.
Superb. Well, thank you very much for taking the time to chat with you today, and best of luck. We look forward to seeing more from you.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Cheers.